Listen here, brother. It's Bloodbath and beyond.
That was the Wolfpack. Fuck you.
This week we watched Creep Van. It's a movie out of Detroit. Let's do the usual rundown of this movie. It's a man going through hard times, trying to find a job. He works at a car wash, and eventually there's a creep van going around that he's trying to buy, but the creep van is killing everyone, and everyone dies.
Like, they made it seem like this van was the killer in the synopsis.
It had me hooked in the first, 1 minute.
These guys must have been like a group of wrestlers because you have like a guy wearing a luchador mask. You have like big stocky guy as Campbell, who's the main character. Yep. You have some little girl with dreads who does some hurricanranas and does some fucking kung fu shit. There's just a bunch of stuff that leads me to believe that these guys are a gang of wrestlers. Not a gang of wrestlers.
A gaggle?
A gaggle. A murder of wrestlers. These guys were a group of wrestlers who just got together and made a movie. Or a guy just made a movie and all his friends were wrestlers from Detroit.
You know what? If you read Campbell's backstory, this movie was based on a true story.
Yeah, semi-autobiographical.
Semi.
Everything in Campbell's backstory in the movie was his backstory to real life.
Can I interest you in a fresh Atwater beer?
What did we like about this movie? A plus for all of us, obviously, were the deaths.
Every single death was pretty good. I think there's like a couple off-screen ones, but even the off-screen ones were pretty good. The first death in this movie was fucking awesome. There's like a couple teen boys. So they're breaking into this fucking van with like a chisel or something. And the kid like tries to climb through like the front window. And the window just goes whoosh, and sliced him right in half. And it was fucking sick. You see intestines, you see blood, and it shows both sides. So, this is a promising movie.
I liked it when the girl who was going to buy the van died. I liked that death. I thought it was original. The seatbelt kind of just locks her in there, and he's got these little switches on the side that he keeps flipping, and it's tightening and tightening and tightening, and it gets to the point where it's actually cutting skin, which I thought was really well done. They hired a big boob blonde actress for this one. They made sure to focus on her boobs the whole time. That I actually half expected that the seatbelts were gonna
I thought they were gonna
rip open the shirt. Instead, it ripped open her neck.
It was something I've never seen somebody rub somebody raw with a seatbelt. And I don't think you'll ever see that again.
No, unless they do Creep Van 2.
Creepier van. I like the airbag with the spikes on it. Thought that was cool. It was done with remote control. I liked it because, it was a nice gadget that I don't see often. The remote control, the pressing the button, the airbag popped. It was a little stupid that he went to the fancy restaurant to pick up a valet to kill the guy in an alley, a dark alley where apparently they're parking these valet cars. I think also when the killer got killed.
It was a very similar death to the kids that I was just talking about. Killer was sticking his head in the window trying to get this guy, and it just sliced half of his head off, and it was fucking sick.
Which was also cool because he was on the ground after his face, blood pouring out, his twitching. Very nicely done.
Yeah, yep. So you can see like the inside, like you can see like a full prosthetic, but it didn't even look like a prosthetic. Like, to be honest, this looked like a dude, but with half a face. They were all practical effects in this movie. Everyone was like really impressive. They had a couple torsos getting cut off, and they had
the spike through.
Everything was really solid.
Yeah, the practical effects, it didn't take you out of the movie, which is something we always like.
If the deaths are good, then we go home happy.
How did you guys like the toplessness in this movie?
Pointless. So it was good.
Yep, I'm for it.
If there's pointless nudity.
Any particular naked scenes that stand out in your mind, guys?
Swami Ted, the yoga instructor or meditation guru, whatever he is in the movie, he was a great character. I thought he was hilarious. He's just with some girls meditating and they're topless for no reason. He's opening his eye halfway just so he can check out these titties.
And it was a POV shot too, which made it really funny. And the fact that they actually had like the blurry edges on it too, where you can actually see his perspective looking at the boobies. Did you like the bigger one?
Ironically, I did.
This is the first.
Usually I like the smaller boobs, but
the nipple to boob proportion was just way off on the second one for Jay.
The second one, it was like 75-25, 75 nipple, areola, 25 boob.
What did we hate about this movie? Jay, why don't you start this time?
I didn't like the amount of inside jokes that were in this movie. It seemed like they just have a horrible sense of humor, or it was because something with their friends happened and they just wanted to include it and were just like, oh, Johnny's gonna love this when I say that he's gonna bang a girl in a doghouse. Oh, this is gonna be great. Yeah, the luchador mask. Okay. That character in the movie was what ruined it for me. Bob, the guy with the luchador mask with a dominatrix girlfriend, was the most cringe-worthy stuff. You just watch these scenes and you're just like, oh my god, this is awful.
Campbell's acting, very, like, jovial, like, over the top.
Yeah, that'd be par for the course, huh? Bust my ass and not get paid. I'm Campbell, by the way.
Yeah, the acting, overall, just poorly done. Script clearly needed work.
So you feeling anything yet?
With what we assume were inside jokes, the overall plot was kind of stupid.
I think the icing on the cake goes to the music and sound effects, though. Those were the worst things in this movie, were the music and the sound effects. We understand if you were trying to go for cheesy and tacky, in your suspense song, trying to build that suspense, but it just wasn't happening because you played it at the wrong times. When Campbell was in the van, you played it too late and you ended it too soon.
Rated R for strong sexuality, right? Let's go.
This is the most suspenseful part of the movie, and you seriously just cut the suspense off like 20 seconds too early?
You know when you're like, I kind of need this kind of music, so you have that stereotypical tune in your head? Mm-hmm. They just use those songs in this movie the entire time.
That's
like, it's so bad. Usually you don't even notice the music that much in movies, like when you're into it, but this just ripped you out of every scene. It was horrible.
the only time the music was used correctly was during the sex scene with Bob and his dominatrix girlfriend. That was probably the worst scene in the movie. They kept cutting back and forth between the different things that they were into. I thought the punching...
Love this!
Oh, that was absolutely terrible.
Even the sound effects when they're in BJ's Tacos. Our creep van character, he doesn't even step on nachos. He just steps on the floor.
The owner of the car wash was named Kaufman, and this guy's coming in to complain about his car wash, and sure enough, it's Lloyd Kaufman.
I am so angry. I am so angry. Jumping Jesus on a pogo stick. I'm there. Take care of it. I don't know what it takes to get you people to understand, but like I told the Rican out there, look at my car.
He's the kind of guy who's like super down to earth. He just wants to be in things, and he just wants to have fun with things.
I get the hose. Look, hookers have nothing to do with this. I don't care what you say.
We'd like to thank Lloyd Kaufman for supporting the local B-movie community. Final thoughts, guys?
I'm torn. I'm torn with this movie because I got the boobs, I got the deaths, but I didn't have the story, and I didn't have the jokes that I think needed to be in this movie.
I agree. I think there was potential there. I don't know if they were trying to be cheesy on purpose. If they were, they failed. If they weren't, then, it's just so bad. It, like, honestly felt like two separate movies where cool deaths and then, like, stupid scenes, not even connecting them together. I did like the ending though. I didn't really see it coming because it was so shitty plot-wise up until that point. And then they actually did something kind of cool.
You don't understand me. I didn't do this.
I loved all the deaths, and it had nudity. I think I am more of a story person, and there really wasn't anything in this story that made me entertained in between.
Yeah, like another problem, we've mentioned it before, is just kind of like the backstory and motivation to the killers. We had absolutely none here.
Why does he want to chop people up?
Let's rate it then. I'm going to give this 1 van out of 5. Like a nice suburban Dodge Caravan. Clearly, it's going to take your kids to soccer and get your groceries. Something reliable.
I'm going to give this movie 1 Lloyd Kaufman appearance out of 5.
I'm going to give this movie 2.5 bearded faces out of 5. The half is for the bad guy's half of the face.
Oh, hey, we both have beards, and you got half a beard.
Yeah, you got a little...
Why? Mind blown. Weird.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. And...
like, share, and comment this video as well.
Or tell your friends in person.
Not in person. Fuck that.